ACT skill number 46. Suppose that B is greater than 0 and less than 1. So I'm just going to say B is equal to a random number of 0.5. Please do the same. Which of the following has the greatest value? So I'm going to go one by one and just plug it in. No thought to it. So 0.5 squared. 0.5 squared is 0.25. 0.5 to the third power for option G is 0.125. Now, what is the hidden base right here? A 10. When it's a 10, you can simply plug in what we see. So we're going to do the log of 0.5. Log of 0.5 is negative 0.3 approximately. The absolute value of 0.5 is 0.5. And now I'm going to do 0.5 to the negative 1 power. And we get an answer of 2. So which one has the greatest value? It is K. Flip to the back side. Did I assign this one for homework? If Q is equal to this value and K is equal to 0, then what is the value of Q? Well, if you plug in 0 for K, 2 times 0 is 0, and 0 times any value is still 0. Going on to number 2. Which of the following would be to the left of negative 1 on a number line? So here's 0, here's negative 1. So which ones would be to the left? Not 8, it's to the right. Not 4, not 0. Okay, negative 0.5 is right here, so that doesn't work. It would be negative 4. Number 3. If x is less than negative 1, so let's just say x is equal to negative 2. Which of the following best describes the relationship between x squared and x cubed? So we're going to plug them in and find out which one has a true statement. Now here's the deal. When you plug this in, what do you have to make sure to do? If you don't do this, it's going to be wrong. Anybody remember? Has to be in parentheses. So what is negative 2 squared? Well, if you're working on time and you feel like you're blanking out, negative 2 squared is 4. So I'm checking out A. I have 4 is greater than, now I'm going to plug in negative 2, make sure it's in parentheses, and I'm going to raise it to the third power. You end up with an answer of negative 8. So is this a true statement? Is this mouth or alligator mouth eating the larger of the two numbers? Moving on. Number 4. Suppose that B is less than 0 and greater than negative 1. So let's say B equals negative 0.5. Which of the following has the least value? So this is just like the first example we did. So let's plug in F. So I have negative 0.5 squared is positive 0.25. Now I'm going to do option G, negative 0.5 to the third power, and I get a negative 0.125. Okay, tangent of 0.5, tangent. Please make sure right now that your calculator, do me a favor, make sure that your calculator hit mode and make sure that's in radians if it's not currently there. We're not working with degrees, so it needs to be in radians. So tangent of negative 0.5 is negative 0.54 approximately. The absolute value of negative 0.5 is a positive 0.5. And now negative 0.5 raised to the negative 1 power. We're going to put in parentheses, negative 0.5 raised to the negative 1. And we end up with a negative 2. So out of these options, what is the least value? Negative 2. Okay, going on right now to number 5. If x is between negative 1 and negative 2, so let's say x equals negative 1.5, which one of the following orders these from least to greatest. Okay, so you ready? Let's check. I'm going to do this. Do you guys agree that all of these only have x, x squared, and x to the third? Yes or no? Do this. X, x squared, and x to the third. Okay, I'm timing you right now. You're practicing speed. You have 20 seconds to get these three answers if you have not done so. Go ahead. Bless you. Okay, so these are my answers. So I want to know from least to greatest. So which one is the smallest here? Is for this to the left on the number line? X cubed. So anything with the one that starts with x cubed could be an answer. Okay, what's next? X. So there's x. This is not x. Correct answer is C.